I want to teach you about decompression breathing. It's the basic principle of foundation training that is truly a part of every single exercise you're going to learn with us, so we might as well start now with the basics. It's a hard thing to learn. I wish it wasn't, but the truth is there is a very legitimate learning curve to decompression breathing. Don't let that scare you. Let that get you a little bit more curious about what potentially could happen and why after so many years I'm still teaching this. We'll start with the thumbs at the base of the rib cage. And when I say base of the rib cage, it's right when the ribs become the belly, right when that shelf occurs. The pinkies are going to go right to the front of the hip bone there, the ASIS, the anterior superior iliac spine, or the pointy bone you can feel at the ridge of your pelvis. That's a little shaka sign, like you're in Hawaii. That's your measuring stick. The basis of this is that A, you inhale up in 360 degrees, lifting the whole rib cage away from the pelvis. So you'll see the space change as Jesse inhales. What's more important about this measuring stick, though, is the exhale. While you feel all of this big, expansive, lung volume enhancing rib cage expansion, it's the exhale that maintains that expansion that is truly the trainer of decompression breathing. So let's think about that for a moment. You're inhaling into the chest, but you're also really deeply inhaling into the back of the ribs. The larger portion of the lung is kind of backward facing in the rib and can expand quite a bit posteriorly. And as you exhale, you're keeping the abdomen long and you're sort of pulling the belly in off your waistband as you push air out. So let's do that again. Inhale, massive, massive, big as you can comfortably into the ribs. Push the ribs out of the way, posteriorly, laterally, anteriorly. That means back, sides, and front. Push them out of the way, and as you exhale, keep them pushed out of the way. This is hard. This is the challenge of decompression breathing. It's not just expansion, it's the maintenance of expansion. It should feel like the belly is almost pulling off your waistband as you exhale. From there, chin back, chest up is a cue you're going to hear us give a lot throughout these programs. The base of the skull is going to lift away from the neck. Right where the head and neck join, you're going to lift that up really far. You're going to feel these front neck muscles, the sternocleidomastoid muscles, leveraging the sternum and clavicles upwards as you inhale. That's one of the ways that you know that you're doing this right. The base of the skull pulling up allows the sternum to be lifted towards it. Go ahead and relax fully.
If you're doing it right, you're working.
So if you're doing it right, you're working. And I want you to see what it looks like without the shirt on here. So Jesse's going to pop his shirt off. We're going to do the exact same thing, the same tutorial more or less, but I want you to see the muscles work a little bit. I want you to see the rib cage expansion. I want you to understand this stuff a little better. So first and foremost, let's line the feet up a little bit. I didn't do that on the first one, but it's an important piece to this. The outside edges of the feet are parallel when you're doing decompression breathing in the basic poses, like standing decompression or some of the others that we'll get into. From here, thumbs at the rib cage, pinkies at the pelvis. And what we're going to find is, you know what, go from a kind of a collapsed position first. You don't just want to pull yourself out of this position. You want to push yourself out of this position from the inside out. And that's where decompression breathing comes in. Watch as Jesse takes 2 or 3 breaths that literally reposition his rib cage, reposition his posture, and create a ring of tension from the lats to the rhomboids to the traps to the levator scapula to the pecs to the abdomen to the diaphragm to the obliques. There's a lot of stuff in there. And you want all of it working together to lift the torso and keep it high and powerful, not compressed and weak and uncomfortable. Because that sucks. You don't want to stay there. It's no fun. You want to feel good. One more. Chin back, chest up. Big 360 degree breath that primes muscles for contraction, gives the visceral organs room to be organs and operate and digest and produce, sometimes reproduce. All of these things are very important functions of physiology that need room to operate well. And if you're just sitting on them, they're not happy. Practice decompression breathing with every foundation training pose you do, and I bet you're going to start feeling better really, really fast.